In one episode of Adventure Time, Jake thought that hanging out with Lady and Finn at the same time would bring him closer to both. But how come did he instead end up feeling left out among them? In the episode named My Two Favorite People, even though it starts like any other Adventure Time episode, but then quickly starts posing a question that seemed far too real, as more and more people started feeling a twist in their chest by the time they were done with this episode. The episode's question was the following: what happens when your best friend and girlfriend not only become friends but start vibing so well that you're left feeling like a third wheel? And that question won't be answered by Jake or anyone other than yourself through seeing Jake's experience with this very problem. So strap in. In the beginning of the episode, we see Jake struggling with a very real issue. Having two people who you really care about and want to spend time with, but can't clone yourself into to be able to see both. Because while on one hand, there's his best friend, his little brother, who he has so much fun and chaos with, who seems to be fighting a shark and a science cat in this episode.
Who are these guys? This is a great fight.
Yeah! You never fought them?
I guess that's because I meet Lady Rainicorn every day at 4 o'clock. Oh, I'm late.
And on the other hand, there's the love of his life, Lady, who he loves to spend more calm and artistic time with. But attending to both Finn and Lady is becoming stressful for Jake.
I do want to stay and fight those guys, but I also want to hang out with my girlfriend.
It's like every time he chooses to spend time with one of them, he has to leave the other one behind. And I don't care if you think you're special, it's safe to say that no matter who you are, you've probably experienced something similar before. And if you remember that feeling, it almost feels like a quiet tug of war is taking place. And that issue is taking a toll on him, as when he finally arrives to Lady's house, she's already feeling tired.
자러 가야겠다.
Sleep? But we were supposed to play viola together.
Now I don't know who sleeps at sunset, but she hits him with the
Sorry, Sasuke. Some other time.
No!
And Jake just can't shake off the feeling that he ruined everything by being late. And that was Jake's breaking point actually. So he starts venting to Shelby.
Whenever I hang out with Lady Rainicorn, I miss out on fun times with Finn. And then when I hang out with Finn, I'm missing out on Lady Rainicorn.
But to his luck, or misfortune, as you'll see, Shelby proposes just the solution. And the idea was to just meet up with the both of them at the same time.
And then I won't miss anything. My problems are solved.
And it sounds so. So he immediately invites them both to go out for a picnic. But the truth is quickly unveiled that Finn is as different from Lady as that fire pit is different from that grassy area over there. Jake quickly realizes that they're so different they don't even speak the same language. Lady speaks Korean, and Finn isn't about to learn no Korean for nobody's girlfriend. Except maybe for a girl he's chasing. And the silence that settles between them at the picnic is awkward. Finn tries to break the ice, but he quickly realizes that he is bad at breaking the ice as is. He isn't about to break the language barrier anytime soon.
Man, I might leave. I kind of want to go fight something.
But Jake can't just let Finn leave. If he does, then Jake would have to go back to the same old thing again. And in his panic, he remembers something that can only exist in a children's show. You would not believe me if I told you that shit was about to go down real quickly.
There's a universal translator device at the bottom of Lake Salazar.
And so the three of them dive headfirst into the lake. It's just another day at the job for Finn and Jake. But Lady cuts everything short as she whips through the water, destroying them all in an animation that looks like they just used the angle tool simply because they didn't know how this long unicorn would use its body to fight. But when they surface, Finn looks like he realized he was wrong about Lady all along, and Jake is happy that his idea is finally working. Then he puts the translator on Lady as the final piece he needed to have Finn and Lady get along and be able to hang out with. But then as they take off into the sky, Finn and Lady finally being able to have an actual conversation, they seem to be bonding, but Jake thinks that it's perhaps too much. He quickly starts feeling the need to join the conversation. But they're so captivated in the conversation they can't even hear Jake. And then it gets worse, because while they're flying down fast, Jake literally slips off Lady's back and he falls, calling for her.
Lady!
And while he does land safely, he is very hurt emotionally. And so he tries to find them. But when he does find them, they're just laughing with a force wizard. And Finn starts showing Jake his magical rings, and Lady has some too. somehow. When Jake asks them why they didn't save him, Finn replies,
Wait a minute, you didn't fly down with us?
Jake says, no. And Lady tries apologizing to Jake, telling him that the clouds made it very hard to hear. But he understands that he's more bruised from the idea that they forgot about him. But he thinks that he might be overreacting, so he stays silent. So back at the tree fort, he tries to fix the situation.
Hey, lady, do you want to go play music together or something?
But she's in the middle of playing, so she tells him,
Sorry, Sasuke.
he finds another solution and goes to Finn.
Hey, Finn, after this next game, do you want to go adventuring with me?
But Finn tells Jake,
Sorry, Sasuke.
Finn basically tells Jake that he already has plans with Lady, because since she can fly, he thinks that it would be a good idea to go partying with the Cloud people. And Finn tells Jake,
You should go to that with us.
but to Jake, it doesn't feel like a genuine invitation. It's like he sort of had to say it, and this is when we see Jake's best attempt at showing his true feelings.
No, you go ahead and you have fun with my girlfriend.
Finn looks at him and tells him that he's acting a little weird. This totally dismisses Jake's feelings, and Lady doesn't even step up to save Jake. What Jake is feeling is not weird at all. He's been all alone ever since. He's really lonely, and Jake can't find the words to describe what's happening. And so they leave, and he waits. Hours pass, still no signs of them. Finally, he feels that he has a reason to actually act, and so he phones someone in the Cloud Kingdom, only to discover they have already left. And as those words travel through Jake's ears, Jake gets in a state that's indescribable to anyone who has never felt it before. A deep sickness in Jake's stomach, a twisting feeling, a sense of panic as every second starts feeling like a living hell. His heart is pounding with fear and confusion and anger. He pedals towards Lady's house, not knowing what to expect, and what he sees doesn't put any of his feelings to ease.
What the?
And that's when he sees it. Finn and Lady are there, laughing, playing.
Wow, Lady!
Keep in mind that Finn is his little brother. He trusts him, and so does he also trust Lady. But when Lady replies,
I like you too, Finn.
something just explodes in Jake. He's alone, he's forgotten, he's hurt, he's sad. No one sees it, no one understands it. No one cares. And I feel for Jake, as we all painfully must have too at some point. Jake feels not just jealous, but betrayed. They don't look like they forgot to invite him, they look like they didn't want him there. It was something they wanted to have with each other, something they didn't want to have with him. And Jake can't take that feeling, it's tearing him apart, so he needs to harden one way or another. And so this bitterness he was feeling presents him a route to go about this.
Well, two can play at that game, sweet cheeks.
Jake desperately scrolls through his contacts. If they left him behind, then maybe they should know how it feels to be left behind. He calls Tiffany, and when Tiffany arrives, the two of them start playing viola somewhere close to Lady's house, where Jake was sure of it being close enough to grab both Finn and Lady's attention. Playing sad viola music, something that only he and Lady do together. It's forced, but Jake doesn't care. Jake doesn't even want to play. It's his last resort. And when Finn and Lady hear the music, they go scope things out. Confused, Lady looks at Jake, while her feelings turn from confusion to feeling hurt very quickly. And before she knew it, she was also feeling that terrible feeling that Jake has been feeling for 2 whole days now. She's overwhelmingly jealous. But Jake understands those feelings. He's not intending to hide any of his intentions actually. He starts telling them exactly what he's doing and why he's doing it before they even question him.
You're making Lady jealous!
Well, I'm trying to make you both jealous.
Let's remember that Jake is a good person after all, who's just been hurt really badly. But of course, Lady isn't having none of it right now. But still, she's at a state of anger and shock, which makes her not able to move and only able to observe things unfolding. But while Lady gets more riled up, Finn is confused. How would he be jealous of a girl? But Tiffany catches that quickly and takes the opportunity to hurt Finn by making him find out that he's not a girl, and that
Jake's my best friend now, forever.
And Finn quickly feels the same feeling that Lady is now feeling, but Finn is not one to observe for long. So Finn jumps on Tiffany with jealousy blinding him, and they wrestle. Tiffany pulls a dagger with murderous intent, but Finn is having none of it. He instantly disarms Tiffany, and he's about to take all of his misplaced anger on Tiffany. And Jake's just watching. He doesn't know what he was expecting, but he definitely isn't happy. And so Lady, finally having checked her emotions, which is very hard to do, finally understands what was going on. She goes to Jake to help him figure out why he decided to do this.
Jake, what's going on with you?
And for the first time since his shock, Jake drops the act. He admits what he's been afraid to say. He felt left out, and he had no idea how to say it without sounding needy. And so now Jake finally tries to just spit it out and says,
I guess I'm jealous of how much you and Finn like each other.
and this is when we realize how innocent Jake's soul truly is. He was terribly afraid that if he had just explained what he's been feeling, that he'd end up just being shut down. Because if that would have happened, it literally would have been the killing blow. And this is where the episode evolves from just being another episode from a kids show to turning into a lesson for all the people viewing. And so when something matters to you a lot, you feel scared of getting a reply that might hurt you really badly, especially when you're exposing something that has a lot of importance to you. And so we instead choose not to say it and start doing actions where the other person has to be really analytic to be able to understand them. We end up most of the time hurting people until they stop doing something that's hurting us without even explaining to them how something was hurting us to begin with. But that can drive people that you love away. Not the fact that you're not okay, it's that they don't understand what they're being hurt for. When you keep telling them that you're fine and keep acting differently. We need to remember that the people that love us are not trying to hurt us, or else we wouldn't have loved them back to begin with. If they were actually trying to hurt you, then that's even more of a reason to be honest about your feelings and start your journey of healing. But if they truly care about you, then it's only justice to tell them what you've been truly feeling. That will give them a chance to fix it for you. So instead of hurting them and hinting while their heads spin, we should just tell them and see what they do. So remember this quote throughout your life. Honesty builds bridges, while insecurity builds walls. And if that doesn't fix it, that means that it just wasn't meant to be. That doesn't mean that you weren't good enough. That doesn't mean that it was all in vain. You still have you, so show up for yourself. And if you can't yet, let me show up for you. Allah sees how kind you were, even if people didn't act the same way towards you. Keep being the understanding, kind person that you are, so that when a person who is just like you comes around, you're able to not let them go through what you had to go through yourself. Let that be your reason to stay kind. Don't start hurting people just because you were hurt by people. We can end this cycle, at least for the ones close to us. And as you know, I reply to all my comments, no matter how many they are. So if you're feeling brave enough to speak up, at least with me, before you go through with talking to your loved ones about something that's been troubling you but just need a bit of encouragement, then leave a comment down below. And also, feel free to join our community if you're done with being on the negative side of YouTube that only drains you. And may Allah mend your soul and heart. But everybody else is crazy. I don't need you to come save me. Don't save me, I'm fine. A little bit out of my mind. But everybody else is crazy. Don't need you to come save me. Don't save me, I'm fine.